Hey, welcome to the Empower Her Wealth Summit. We have a special guest here for you today, and she just lit up the room as soon as I got on the phone with her. I couldn't believe like the energy that she has. Like you just want to sit with her and have her help you do everything. So with that being said, I'm not going to give it away. I'll let you tell us a little bit about yourself. Lots of love to you, Georgie. Welcome to the Empower Her Wealth Summit.
Thank you so much, Joanna. And I love meeting another Ann or Anna. Definitely grateful to be here. So hi, everyone out there at the Empower Her Wealth Summit. My name is Georgie-Ann Getton. I'm an entrepreneur, a mom, a content creator, and I've been in business since literally high school. So for over a decade now, I've been in business. And I have just been so keen about making my own path, creating different avenues of wealth for myself, for my family. And I found that through entrepreneurship. As Joanna says, I love to come and talk to folks and help them think of different creative solutions that often involve technology to rethink how they want to get work done, how they want to live their lives, how they want to manage their day-to-day personal credit, their finances, just so that they can live a more holistic lifestyle. So I can't wait for this conversation to share more with you all.
I love it. I love it. And you see why I invited her in, right? You just got that glimpse. So with that being said, in my world, in the real estate investing world, we share a lot about creating your own economic independence. And you're actually such a pillar of that, you've been at it for some time now. And like you didn't let life get in the way. You like skated right into the entrepreneur world. Tell me a little bit about that. What empowered you? What ran through you that made you want to do that?
Yeah, so I'll share the story of kind of my background. So I am Jamaican, born and raised. I came to the United States when I was about, my family immigrated when I was about 7 years old. And in Jamaica, the majority of people have some type of entrepreneurial, either full-time job or side hustle. So you may work as a teacher, but on the side, you're selling candies and snacks. You may work in the hospital, but you also do childcare and additional things. So entrepreneurship and creating additional sources of revenue was kind of embedded in the culture. Additionally, my dad and uncle are both entrepreneurs. My uncle is actually a real estate entrepreneur, and he's had a good success in New York, Florida, and I think he did have a Georgia license. I don't think he's active in Georgia anymore, but he had pretty good success in New York and Georgia, in Florida. And then my dad is a tech entrepreneur. So kind of seeing them being able to create an opportunity for themselves and create a source of income for themselves and have that work flexibility. And not just that, but being able to create an opportunity for others. So my uncle specifically, he did a lot of real estate training for future realtors, and he would do a lot of workshops and just bring people into this ecosystem, and just being able to see them, sell their first house and change their lives in such different ways. Or, again, a lot of his realtors, his agents were also folks that had other jobs. They were teachers, nurses, doctors. They had other jobs, but then being able to use real estate to create additional income. And I was just like, wow, the ability to teach people how to do something and then have them create a path for themselves just was really inspiring. And I was just like, that's what I want to do.
No doubt, no doubt. So you've had a lot weaved into your life. Like this life is normal. So
Yeah.
what would you say? So there's a lot of women in my audience that have a W-2, that are doing the hustle as much as they can. They're strapped with time, strapped with money, strapped with all the things. What would you say to them about entrepreneurship? Like, why would they want to do something like that?
Yeah, I'm not gonna say the fun, sexy thing that you might see on the TVs. Entrepreneurship will give you all the freedom. It can give you freedom, and I think just being aware of that possibility can really be impactful. So when you have nothing is wrong with a W-2, a full-time job, but you're limited to certain constraints. You're limited to a specific amount of paid time off, limited to a certain amount of family leave. So there are lots of limits that are put on you when you're working only as a full-time employee for an organization. When you are an entrepreneur, maybe you need to take a year off because you want to spend time with your family, you want to travel more, you just had a new baby, you got whatever it may be, you have a sick parent. It gives you that flexibility to do what you want to do in a way that works for your life. And so with tying that into time management and just the ability to be flexible with your schedule, it does take a lot of work for you to understand, okay, how do I work best? Is it best at night? Is it best in the daytime? Is it at mornings? Is it in front of a computer? Some people love to work from their phones. Do I like to write notes? So you have to learn a lot in the beginning phases around how you work so that way you can get your tasks done. How do you best manage your time? Because, you know, when a boss says, hey, I need you from 9 to 5 or 10 to 6, you know where to show up, what to do. Here's a computer, here's your login, here's your accounts. You just show up and kind of do the work. When it comes to entrepreneurship, you have to, okay, what platforms do I use? Where do I put my listings? Where do I look for clients? Where do I have conversations? What networking events to go to? So you have, while it's a beautiful thing to have control over that, you have control over that. That means you have to be responsible for those items. So just going into entrepreneurship with a clear vision that says, I want to come to a point where it is more, you know, I've built up this network, I know where to go, I know what to do, but those first couple of years, I'm not even gonna joke, it's not months, it's years, you're figuring it out. So if you do have a full time, start easing your way into it, start practicing, start giving yourself the, you know, it's almost like, you know, what is it called? Like gymnastics, right? At first you have your instructor there with you, you have your cushions, you have all the security, the safety, and then you slowly go up to different beams and you try a different, you know, jump. And before you know it, you can do this amazing trick without all of the additional support. But if you do have a full-time, slowly experiment, use your full-time to help get you introductions. Of course, do it ethically, you know, don't steal clients or nothing like that, but slowly be able to experiment because you do have that foundation. And then as you grow in your entrepreneurial venture, then you could completely leave. I was a little crazy, so I just jumped right into it.
I love it. Isn't
But
she a bomb? Like, such a powerhouse, right? She's already dropping serious gold nuggets here, and we just barely begun. So thank you for that.
you're very welcome.
What would you say to that? So one more thing that I just want to make sure everyone heard this. Once your vision is in place, is what I heard you say, right?
Mhm.
Georgie-Ann, how important do you think that is?
It's gonna be your they like to call it the North Star. That's gonna let you know where you want to go. And like I said, you're gonna be responsible for getting yourself to that destination. And there's this theme in psychology called equifinality. And that means that there could be multiple paths to the same destination. But if you know where you're going, even if a detour comes up, something happens, because life is unexpected. We have no, you know, we all experienced the most unexpected thing ever, a whole global pandemic. And now various people are experiencing, you know, different social events, different political events, different, you know, climate events. Anything can happen, is my point. But if you know where you're going, no matter where you have to go around it, you will still end up at that destination. That's your vision. So saying, okay, this is the type of person or entrepreneur or lifestyle I want to live. And no matter what happens in the interim, you know, that's where I'm going. So I'm just going to find another way to get to that same destination.
Yes, that's powerful. That's powerful. So what would you say to somebody, believe it or not, I've heard this, and so I want to address it. They're visionless. They're like, I just don't see it, Georgie-Ann. I just don't see, I don't know how to get a vision. How would I do that?
Ooh, that one is tough. That's going to take a little bit more self-work. And I would say start with an idea. Right. And your vision evolves. It can evolve if you're not sure what it is immediately, because not everybody's going to know. But just what do you want to have happen? Right. Practice dreaming, practice doodling, practice journaling. So one of the things that I love to do is journal. Like I have a journal right next to me right now. And so writing down what are the things that you want and what you want to achieve, and then put those things together. Okay, I want to live in a nice house, safe neighborhood. You don't have to have 6, 7, 8-figure goals, right? Like we see that on social media. We see that in a lot of places. I want to be billionaire, millionaire. Like that's not everybody's goal. I just want to live comfortable, afford food for my family and myself, and have a nice pillow at night. That is more than enough. More than enough, because many people don't even have that. And so if that's your vision, that's okay. Don't think you need this big grandiose vision. I want to have all my family members working in my organization and I have 400 employees. It doesn't need to be like that. So determine, what do you want? Your vision is simply, what do I want? And you want something. And don't be afraid to say that, because for whatever reason during our lives, somebody somewhere told us you're not allowed to want that thing. And I'm here to tell you that you are. So just, what do I want? Write it out. And then say, hey, what can I do to get me closer to that thing? Again, it doesn't need to be huge. It doesn't need to be fancy, but it needs to be something that's special and important to you.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm going to give you an example of one of my students' visions that is special to her. She wants the financial freedom, the economic independence that we all talk about, and to close on her real estate, and to not be forced to be in a job that she hates. And so we've gone back and forth with the word hate, right? It's a pretty powerful word.
Yeah, very powerful. Yeah.
But she says that's what motivates her, is she hates her job so much. Now, I know a lot of people who love their jobs, so I'm not, obviously not talking to everybody here, but she hates her job so much that fire just pushes her, and she's actually closing on 5 deals right now. She just
Wow, look at that.
last week. Yeah. So 2 reasons I bring that up. One is it doesn't have to be all sunshine and roses vision, right? I love how eloquently you laid that out of, it's really what you want. She wants to have the freedom of that job because she hates it so much, right? And oh my God, I just got the chills. It really works. It really works is what I'm saying. Yeah. And I've got, students that love their job. They're at their job and they're doing real estate, on the side. But whatever that driver is, like you said, that North Star, what is going to drive you? What is going to be the fuel that goes in the car that gets you the GPS to go to the right? Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. So with that being said, what do you tell your little one?
In what aspect? What do I tell them on how to manage their time? Like, what do I tell them?
About her vision.
I would tell her that her vision is going to have to be, she's going to have to create a new vision once that one is achieved, because when she gets out of that job, right? So, and this is okay, goals, visions, life evolves. And so when she's now out of that job that she doesn't hate anymore, she may get stuck because that motivating, like, I want to leave this job that I hate is not there anymore. And that's okay. So just being aware that once you overcome that obstacle, that goal, while it is a beautiful thing to achieve a goal, to achieve a vision, you're going to have to now dream again and dream bigger. And it could be, the dream is, I want to maintain this so I never have to be in a position of being somewhere that I don't love. I want to always be in a position of a job that I love. That could be her new vision, right? And that could even be what she starts saying right now. Instead of, as she's closing on these deals, start believing that new vision. I want to always have a job that I love. So that way it's something positive, and that way it's something that she can maintain within the work that she's doing. And if she decides to even leave this industry and go to somewhere else, I want to always be in a job, in a position that I love and I enjoy and I do this well. So as soon as she starts feeling, oh, I don't love this anymore. Oh, she knows, oh, that's a trigger, time to go. That feeling starts kicking in, and she knows exactly, oh, I'm steering too much off course. It's not where I want to go. Let me go back to where I want to go.
Nice. So good. So good. Yeah. So what I'm hearing is your visions are not in concrete. And they can evolve.
Yep. Because you evolve. We all evolve. And everything down to our taste buds change every 7 years. Our interest that we have today is not our interest of 5 years ago, and not our interest 5 years in the future. And that's okay. And that's the beautiful thing about being human and, existing, the ability to change, evolve, and grow through our experiences.
Yeah, absolutely. So I love this talk. I could talk all day on this. Tell me how you walk your clients through your process of getting organized.
Yeah, so I actually have this framework that I call scale your potential. It's 5 P's. So the first P is purpose. So we always got to start with purpose. Why are you doing
Right
this?
back to
Simple
that
question.
North
Yeah,
Star, huh? Yeah,
that
okay.
North Star. We got to start there. Why are you doing this? That's the first P, your purpose. Second P is plan. How do you envision yourself doing this? What are the things, let's get organized. What do we have right now? What resources do we need? Who do we need to be introduced to? Let's create a plan. Then the next P is going to be produce. So now this is when we start doing the work. We start testing. We build hypotheses and say, okay, let's try it this way and see what works, and then adjust and pivot, and we do the work, we produce. The fourth P is going to be profit. How do I benefit from this thing? Whether that's financially, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, however, what's in it for me? We can't ignore the fact that humans are self-interested and self-motivated. Like we are self-interested. If we ignore that and don't put a what's in it for me into whatever we're doing, then the likeliness of us feeling good, the likeliness of us doing that thing again decreases. So even if you're donating to the homeless shelter, right? What's in it for you? You like to help people. You like to bring people joy. So while it's assisting someone else, the what's in it for me is your emotional state. That's your profit. That's your benefit. So that's the fourth P. And then the last P is play. That's a part of celebration, just acknowledging where you've come, right? We don't do that often enough. We hit these goals, we do these things, and it's just like, okay, next thing, next thing. Like, how did you sit in it? Did you acknowledge yourself? Did you cheer yourself? Did you celebrate? Look where I've come. Look how far I've come from. And society does not help this one little bit. It's just like next thing, next thing, next thing, 2 day shipping, one day, I want it now and I want it fast and I want it big and grandiose. And it loses its emotional feelings. Like there are so many, dopamine. There are so many little hormones inside of our bodies that celebrating gives you that high that allows you to then want to then start something new or keep up the momentum. So to recap, the 5 P's are starting with having a purpose. Why are you doing this? Creating a plan. How am I going to organize myself? What resources do I have? Then we have to go into production, doing the work, testing out things, pivoting, adjusting, changing it up. Profit. How do I benefit from this thing? And then finally play. How do I celebrate, make sure that this is acknowledged, that I accomplished this thing, and then I get the energy to go do something else, or even just hang out for a little bit, just hang out in the celebration for a while longer. So that's the process that I walk through folks when I work with them.
That is so good. That's so good. So while I was listening to you speak, I don't know about anyone else, but I went straight to Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. And that girl in the red dress, she wanted a golden goose. So she's like, I want a goose and I want it to know. And she just stomped her feet and like patience, right? Have some patience, have some love, have some gratitude, because that's all Willy Wonka was looking for, that someone was grateful. And there was a lot of takers, right? So when you're that way with yourself, this is what I got from this. I don't know what y'all got, but this is what I got. And maybe I'm dating myself because I went to Willy Wonka, but it was a childhood favorite. But having gratitude, it sounds like to me, is what I'm hearing, right? Having gratitude, celebrating the wins. And if you're not loving on yourself, you can't expect anyone to love on you.
That is so true. That is so true.
So tell me, as you're taking your clients through this, what are some challenges that one might face in trying to do this?
Yeah, a lot of times people misconstrue the reason why they're doing things. I want to do this because someone else told me to do this. So that first one, that purpose, we're told, we're told, whether that's society telling us, family members, a job, or a past, like other people are telling us things that we don't want to do, we're not ready to do, we don't think through. And it's like, is this really for me? Or is it just because someone somewhere one time told me this and I just stuck and I believed it? Someone, your teacher in middle school told you you'll never amount to anything. And now when you aren't accomplishing your goals, you're not, hitting the winning bonus, you're just like, you don't know why. You've probably forgotten it, but in the subconscious, you'll never amount to anything. So we have to understand that we are able to craft our own new lives. And so that purpose part is really tough to work through people with. And then I say, just start small. You don't have, again, that's what I just was talking about. You don't have to have this like grandiose purpose. I want to try something new. That's enough for your purpose. That is a good starting point. Then once you do that, Then you have to analyze the resources that you have. So this is another part where people get stuck. So again, it's usually that beginning phase, the plan, the purpose and the plan. It's like, I don't have this, I don't have that, I'm gonna say that's okay. Because I have this true belief that you may not have everything that you want, but you'll always have everything that you need. And especially now in this modern day, modern society, especially if you're in the United States, we have so many resources that are literal fingertips, from public libraries to different repositories to the internet. So much access to information and materials, YouTube University. So I'm like, don't worry about all this big fancy stuff. Let's start with creating a plan. And then on that plan, what are the things that you currently have? You have some type of knowledge, you have some type of skills, you have some type of connections. And that's where you start, the knowledge, skills, and connections. Okay, then what are you looking for? And then maybe we could tap into your network, right? Your connection, and say, hey, Joanne, I don't have the skills of building a website, but I know how to do, consulting. Can you connect me with somebody that maybe built your website and I'll do consulting with them? Barter, right? Again, in the early stages, you have to figure out ways, because all the resources that we have is time, knowledge, and then energy. So how do we exchange those things with other people that might have more of what we need in order to get what we need to get done? So that first purpose, as well as like plan, people always say, I don't have this, I don't have that. I'm like, well, don't worry about that. Let's talk about what you do have, because we can leverage that in ways that you may not even believe.
Oh my God, such a good point. Because I know for myself that I have so much like content and things that, like I don't need to create new. I don't need to do new. And I've been an entrepreneur for 24 years. So there's that. But when I first got started, I would say that I did feel empty. I did feel, well, who am I? And some people call it the imposter syndrome, but I'm just like, I just don't know yet. Right? I'm still brand new to it. And what would you say to somebody who's just like, well, that sounds good, but I don't know, maybe that works for you, but it doesn't work for me. I'm a little stuck in how you see that. Let me get a little bit more specific. How do you get them from thinking W-2 to entrepreneur? I guess is more what I'm trying to say. Because in my world, I geek out on the tax and legal as well as real estate. That's the whole wealth side of me, right? And what I hear a lot of is they feel secure in their job because it's, they get a paycheck every week and whatnot. And they're not having to think about what they have to do. They don't have to come up with anything. They have a job description. And now they're trying to be an entrepreneur, which, by the way, saves you a ton in taxes. So do it if you haven't done it yet. Get a side hustle. You got to meet with Georgie-Ann and get something rolling. Get organized. Get the 4. Was it 4 or 5?
5 P's.
5 P's. Yes. Okay, I was close. Don't forget to celebrate. That was a good one. Get with her, because if you're stuck in between two worlds, right? Or even if you're just starting that new world, you already know you want to be there. I think it's key to connect with Georgie-Ann, because she's going to help you with your North Star. She's going to help you get organized. She's going to help you to be resourceful with what you have already. I had no idea how much I had when I started, right? I just felt empty, like I didn't have anything. If someone can sit there and be resourceful for you, that's what I say to my business partner all the time. Hey, let me be resourceful for you. This is what we could do. She's like, oh my God, thank you so much. And just even having that connection is a huge deal for both of us. We do it for each other. And I know that's, what you provide is that North Star of, no, come to Georgie-Ann, because I can give you that next step.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hearing. So thank you for that. And, nothing's perfect, and there's going to be challenges. There's going to be challenges. But being coachable is what's important. Being open, being coachable. Don't push back or you can't receive. Right? So it's so beautiful the way that you put it. Tell us a little something about your education. What do you do to make sure your economic independence is secure?
Yeah, so I am definitely a huge nerd. I
Oh,
love to learn. I am super passionate about learning. If nothing else, people will tell you that I love to learn and I love to teach. And so from everything from, going through undergrad and did business communications, did my master's in IO psychology, which is just the psychology of how and why people work in business, and taking various classes. So continuous learning is the key, whether that's YouTube University, LinkedIn Learning, right? It used to be called Linda. You have to take your own learning into your hands. I'm going to ask questions. Now there's TikTok videos that are super educational, Instagram videos, LinkedIn live streams, YouTube streams. There's so much information out there that you can pick up a book, pick up an ebook, an audiobook, or watch a video that's going to teach you something within 10 to 15 minutes that you never had any idea about before. This summit, right? You're here for what? It was 30 minutes to an hour. That is priceless. You're learning information from experts that have done the work for years and years, and you're going to put in that work as well. And I want to tie in a second point to what you were previously talking about, just how can folks, in that beginning phase. And I want to say, give yourself beginner's grace. And this also ties into learning around a kindergartner when they're first starting school. They're not expected to know all the big scary topics. They're not expected to know algebra. If they do, that's super cool. There's like this little like 4-year-old that knows how to do like really complicated math. Everyone, amazing. But the majority of 2, 3-year-olds don't know that. And that's okay. Beginner's grace. I'm here to learn. I'm here to experiment.
yeah.
That is beginner's grace. So if you mess up, oh my God, it's not, oh my gosh, I suck. I can't do anything. It's just, I just started. Okay, messed up. Where did I go wrong? Ask the people around you, whether that's your mentors, your coaches, your instructors. Comment on the YouTube video that you saw. I've been trying to do this thing that you showed me in the YouTube video and it's just not working. I got up to this point. Can you tell me what I did wrong? And more than likely the person will respond. Comment on the TikTok video. Ask the questions, right? And I'll lead out with that. Asking questions have literally changed my life. I remember back
Mm.
in elementary school, my counterparts did not love this feature of me. I'm very curious. It was like, how does this work? How does that work? They're like, we gotta go home. We don't want homework. You're making the teacher give us homework. But I was just genuinely curious. If you are genuinely curious and you ask questions around whatever you're learning, there's no such thing as a silly question. Ask it, get that understanding so that way you can then replicate, you can then inform yourself and then inform others around what needs to be done. But again, so that always educating yourself, asking questions, and then giving yourself beginner's grace that you're going to mess up. It's not supposed to be perfect. And when you acknowledge that and accept that, then when you do make a mistake or things don't land that first deal, okay, no problem. Brush my shoulders off, brush myself off. Okay, where did I go wrong? I didn't inform enough. I didn't market enough. Let me try that again. New experiment. That's all it is. It's not, oh, I did bad. I can't do this. New experiment. Nothing to it.
Yeah.
Try again.
Yeah. So I know we've leaned heavily on, newbies and all that. What about someone who's been in business for a while? How would you address them and maybe go into that next level?
Same deal, beginner's grace. And I'll tell you, I'll tell you why. Because similar to myself, I've been in, you've been in business 24 years. I've been in business almost, 12, 14 years now. And at each level, you're gonna start over again. So when I was an early stage entrepreneur, I, leveled up, did that, and I got to expert entrepreneur. But now this is my first time being an expert entrepreneur. So I'm the beginner at an expert. And what that means is to say, just overall giving ourselves grace that in each new level, they say new levels, new devils, right? That saying, right? And it's so true. The person that's, broke and trying to figure it out, they got the set of problems. The millionaires, they got their own set of problems. The billionaires, I don't even know what their problems are, but they got their own set of problems too.
So true.
And so just understanding that each level will come with its own frustrations, its own learning curves, its own things that you have to come up against. You might question, and again, you're evolving through it. So who you were 5, 10, 15 years ago as a beginner entrepreneur and who you are now, what's important to you, right? Maybe when I first started, I was in high school, college. I was super scrappy. I was okay with putting duct tape on everything and just making it work. As long as it worked, I'm happy. Now I want to have a more polished look. I want to be able to have more poise in my work. I want to I don't let it hold me back. I still want to just, I still put it out there because done is better than perfect. But I like it to look a certain way now. I have the funds to afford certain things that I didn't have the funds to afford when I first started. And so I'm acknowledging that through this growth, I'm able to make better, smarter, different decisions. But that doesn't mean I still have to be perfect, or I've, made all my mistakes. I don't have any ability to make mistakes anymore. We all have space for more mistakes. As long as you're human, that is our natural part of our existence. You will be able to make mistakes, and even the computers make mistakes sometimes, right? When I drag that button over and it's like, oh, you're not a human, you're a robot. I'm a human. Computer, I'm human. So just be okay with knowing that you're not perfect, nor are you expected to be. Try your best, give yourself grace, and keep on going.
Nice, nice. So what do you think is the one thing, I hate to narrow it to one thing, but what do you think is the one thing that is the contributor to your success?
One thing that is the biggest, my ability, my uncanny ability to start over, and be open to starting over, right? When failure knocks at my door, and it's knocked plenty of times, I'm okay with starting over. I'm okay with building again and experimenting and trying again. And a lot of colleagues and peers that have been in similar industries that I have been, or just even tried being an entrepreneur, for their own reasons, and no shame, right? For their own reasons, they decided this is not the path for me. I don't want to keep doing this. But I'm just like, okay, that business didn't work out. This is my 8th business. I'm on my 8th company. Many people don't know that I had companies before this, because some failed very quietly in the background, and some failed more publicly, and some I decided to leave because I outgrew it. But I'm like, okay, no failures, just lessons. I learned so many things from each and every one of the companies that I've had, each and every business idea, business project, business client. And I'm just like, okay, I've learned a lesson. How can I apply that lesson to whatever I want to try? And there have been gaps, right? There were some times where things didn't work out, and I took a couple days off and then right back into it. And there was a time my second largest company, after I shut that down, it wasn't really a failure. It just wasn't a fit anymore. Shut it down, took a year off, and then the next year I started a new business. And this is the current business that I've had for the last 5 years. But the ability to say, it's not me being bad, it's not me being a failure, it's just that didn't work out. And that's okay, because if I decided to, at any of those 7 previous businesses, decided to give up, I wouldn't be here having this conversation. I wouldn't be here making the difference, helping hundreds, thousands of entrepreneurs and companies and organizations. I wouldn't be here doing that if I didn't allow the lesson to come through the loss. And that's what we have to do. Just allow the lesson to come through. It's not easy, but if you look for it, you'll find it.
Nice. That was such a mic drop moment right there. Let the lesson come through. I think we beat ourselves up so much sometimes when we think we're supposed to be doing the thing, that we never learn the lesson. So that was just beautiful. That was just beautiful. So I could probably go on and on with you like all day here. I'm learning so many great nuggets from you. One most important question of the whole entire summit: what do you like to do for fun?
What do I like to do for fun? I like to travel. So traveling and reading are 2 things that I love to do for fun. And it's just being in a new place. So reading does this for me when I'm in a new story, I'm in a new environment, just being able to interact with a new person. When I read books, it feels like I'm literally hearing the person. Sometimes I do audiobooks, but it feels like I'm literally talking to another person's universe, because each of us have our own universe. And then traveling physically allows me to see different countries, different areas, try different foods. So I definitely, those 2 things, if I can't travel, the book will suffice, but those are 2 things I definitely love to do for fun. And content creation is something that I've really been leaning into a lot recently. Another fun thing, I do plan to monetize it, down the line, but it's just being able to share and talk and engage. And again, getting into new worlds, because by doing the content creation, I get to meet different people. I get to travel. I get to talk to different folks. A couple weeks ago, I've been to 2 different conferences recently just because of the content creation work that I'm doing. So it ties back into just exploring. I love exploring.
Nice. That sounds so much fun. I love it. Love it. So the audience is patiently waiting. I'm sure that you have something that you want to share with them.
Mm-hmm.
Free gift, something that they can take home and take action with today. Is that?
Yes. So for the audience today, I have shared my self-publishing 101 ebook guide. And this is steps A to Z, everything you need. Everything is in this ebook, from how to start writing a book or a guide. It could be a memoir, it could be a business development book, it could be whatever you want, a child story, whatever. Start from writing it, getting the cover, the ISBN listing, self-publishing on Kindle Direct Publishing, and then there's even notes in there on how to do the audiobook. I've given links to direct vendors that I've used in my entire process. And I recommend, even if you don't think you want to be an author, I recommend sharing your story, right? Whether that's for family, for friends, for clients, that's a great way to interact with people. Sharing your story so that they understand who you are, what you're about. If you have a philosophy, if you have a methodology, just what, the work that you've done, right? Share your story, get it out of your head. And that's a great way to then leverage who you are, right? That's something that you don't have to make up. That's something that you have. Remember, I said you may not have everything that you want, but you have everything that you need. You have that. Start there. Get it published. It could be, depending on, I've modeled it so you could do it for really low price, or if you want to do all the bells and whistles, there are vendors that you could hire, and just get it out there. I would definitely recommend everyone write their story, or write some story, share some information. That could take you a long way.
I love it. Such a generous gift. I'm like, oh, how do I wait a minute, let me see where's that link? So good. So good. That's very generous of you.
Absolutely.
That's all I can think about now. I can't even think about my next question. But so if someone wanted to get a hold of you, what's the best way? I mean, we're gonna put all this in the show notes, so nobody panic. But what's the best way that people can get a hold of you?
Yeah, I hang out a lot on Instagram. So Instagram.com at Georgie-Ann Getton, so just my full name. You could also send me a message on my website, Georgie-Ann-Getton.com. And so just anywhere, if you look up Georgie-Ann Getton, you're going to find me. I've been on the internet for a while now. Most channels I'm pretty active, but Instagram, as well as like the messaging bot on my website, are the primary ways that I interact.
Yeah, perfect. Perfect. So my suggestion to you all is, when you've done your Google tubing and you got your mission, now take it over to her, contact her and go, this is what I came up with. What do you think? And let her organize and put it together for you. That's my takeaway.
Sounds good. I'm looking forward to getting those messages, y'all.
Awesome. Any final tips or words that you want to share with the audience before you go? Or I know you said you're a book nerd. I heard that you're a book nerd, right? What's your favorite book?
My favorite book, gonna sound real cliche, but it's definitely The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho, because in The Alchemist, if you haven't read it, I don't want to spoil too much, but it's just a journey around of life. And I feel like oftentimes you end up back where you've been before, but you've been so evolved that you have to learn about the cycles of life. So you may be in the same position, and that ties back into what I said earlier, equifinality around, it may be the same destination, but how you got there and that journey, the in between, is a completely different lived experience. And we forget that, right? And that's how you capture the lesson, right? I'm back in this space, I'm doing this thing. It seems similar, but who I am, how I've gotten here, the adventure that I've gone through to get here, just looking at that journey can just be such a beautiful moment for us all.
I love it. Oh, I love it, love it, love it. Okay, cool. So any final words and tips for anyone now that we know that your favorite book, everyone's going to go run and get it?
Yeah, I love to share a quote from my book. It's called The Art of Getting Shit Done. And the quote that I like to share from my book is that don't wait for life to force you to make a change. Make that change consciously on your own time. So, same message. Things are going to happen. there's like this much we can't control and this much we can. So let's control that, what we can. So do the things that you want to do now, not when it's at it ends with, and it's the only option that you have, because then you're not going to be in the right headspace, physical space, financial space, emotional space to really give it your best. Make that change consciously on your own time. Trust yourself, use the resources that are available to you. Contact me, contact Joanna, and leverage the tools that you have. Again, you always have everything that you need. If you see it, if only you could just see it, right? So have those right conversations. So thank you so much for having me here, Joanna.
You are super welcome. We're so blessed that you came aboard. I love it, love it, love it. Anyone want to reach out to her? I can't more than highly recommend her to just dial it in. I took in several nuggets of my own. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. We'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you for coming on the Empower Her Wealth Summit. I have trouble saying that like 5 times fast, right? All right, we'll see you in the next interview. Bye-bye.